How y'all doing? I'm Joshua Wiley, and it's probably the most videos I've done in under 12 hours ever. You know, but nah, I wouldn't even do this video if I didn't have a dream about it last night. You know, and I woke up this morning, I said, wow, I had a dream about music. And then when I read some comments from what I posted, immediately Lord said, well, go on and share with them what the conversation me and him had. You know, I don't play around lightly with my soul. I don't play around lightly with my soul. So it was a lot of prayer, meditation, talking to the Lord, and the parable of the 10 talents. I was driving, like I told y'all in about the video about the 10 virgins. When I was driving up to New Jersey to see my family, who I just found in 25 years. Well, they had found me after 25 years, and this was weighing heavy on my mind. It wouldn't let up. And I've been asking God, you know, with me and his relationship, I love our conversations. And the parable of the 10 virgins, the parable of the talents actually came to mind. And I'll make this real quick as of course I'm getting ready for church, and I'm still doing a video after church. I can't do all these videos and not do the one I really want to do that I'm gonna share after church. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. But this is in response to Jock Mode and other Christians, other Adventists who may feel like he feel, and I know how they feel, and that's why I said parable of 10 virgins, your opinion doesn't matter, because I already know how you feel about it, things of that nature. And honestly, I respect you, brother, for putting it, for saying something openly, because there's many that feel the way you do that'll just talk about me behind my back, things of that nature. So I do respect you in that sense, but I will see, you know, if you're Christian enough, the way you feel like you can pinpoint your brother's sin out publicly, then you should be Christian enough to also admit that, hey, that's not biblically. God says if you have an issue with a brother, you should do what? Go to him privately. Let's do those steps before you point fingers. Let's make sure we're actually in following the Bible and how we do it. Right? Agreed? Right. So anyway, you know, and that's why I have compassion. I actually touched on that in the curse of the social media Christian. I told you the study I did from this whole past year. A lot of the people who I thought were my friends, so-called Christians, they were the main ones who would rebuke me in public, get on my Facebook out in the open and rebuke. But it was the ones who, like you said, oh, you're a rapper, you're not a child of God. We're about to deal with that. It's those who you quick to call not a child of God who actually followed the biblical principles, who would hit me up in privately on my messenger or in a DM or in an email and say, brother, I love you, what's going on, are you all right? I'm telling you for real, I kid you not. My brothers who I went to prison with, some who are rappers, some who just hold down a job, still smoke weed, drink, they were the ones who actually followed the biblical code of love and the gospel. But this is about music and Joshua, right? So I'm driving and the Lord brings up the parable of the talents instantly in my head, and I said, okay, Father, how my relationship with him is, I love it, because I say, okay, Father, show me more. And he said, the one who buried his talent, his gift, he did it because he said he was afraid of God, and he knew God would punish those who was an enemy of his. What am I getting at? I buried my talent for music. I've been singing. Listen, look at my personal testimony. I've been singing since I was 4 years old. When I was in my mother's womb, the album, we were in the studio the whole time. Yeah, she did a old gospel spiritual. She was even on Bobby Jones' gospel hour at one point. It's called the Bethel Chorale. If any of you in North Carolina, like, we used to travel, they used to get asked to sing all over the place, but those albums, those gospel albums are still being printed out to this day. Matter of fact, I had somebody message me on Facebook my brother Albert Vernon, one of my elders I grew up with, asked me, hey man, can you see if you can get a copy of that album, one of the old albums of your mom? But anyway, that's just my love for music. I have a gift. Like I said, I was Crown Clarksville's freestyle champion back when I was in the world, but I actually write music, whole songs. I said rapper, and I know that threw you off. Oh, a rapper can't be a child of God. That's so deep, brother, when we say things like that, because that's why I said people have an infatuation with the Bible, and we have to be careful what we say, because rapping is just poetry, spoken word. It's been corrupted and tainted. Did Josh say he was gonna do the corrupt tainting? No. I even warned. I said one of the songs that we've only done one song so far, the song that me and my brothers had, and we have a remake without the foul language, but I had to talk. I talked to my brothers about it, and they totally agreed. You know what I'm saying? They were like, yeah, Josh, we wasn't thinking. You know, I already told them if I'm gonna get on board with this thing, I'm gonna do it how I want to do it, how I need to do it, because their opinions don't matter. And that's the real honest truth. And I'm doing it to show my youth that not all art is corrupt and evil. You know, I actually can talk about the Lord. You know, my whole mode on this changed when I want to bring up two examples. My brother Andre Evans, he was a Pentecostal pastor. He's now at Venice because of our friendship. They had feet, you know, but he was a Pentecostal pastor, and he used to rap. He used to rap also. So of course, my first thing in my mind, sort of like you, oh, you're a rapper, you're not a child of God. Honestly, I learned a lot from that brother, dealing with my character. I've said it many times in our churches here, in the church in Bowling Green where he's at, where he's a firefighter now. I've said it many times that Andre showed me how to deal with my, like, I saw a brother who could deal with adversity without fighting. And I marveled at that. Because Andre's solid, thick, you know, solid dude. But I looked at myself, he made us, you know, here he is a Pentecostal, and he was rapping, but yet and still, I was uglier than him. But I had the truth, brother. I was preaching. This is, if you were listening to me back then, oh yeah, I had the YouTube page then, all that. And I had to come to grips. And I remember one day I just hugged him, gave him a big hug, and I said, Andre, I've learned more about myself from your example than anyone else. So that idea that you're a rapper, you're not a child of God, that is why, that's so toxic. And I say that's so toxic, that thinking, because you just call a million little boys in the projects and slums evil and not children of God. And some of you will be smart mouth and say, well, they are evil and things of that nature, but it's not true, you know. And that's why I say about the infatuation with the Bible. So you're telling me, let's use your reasoning. I make a song about the health message. Me and my daughter have a song now. Aisha, when you get dressed, come out here. When you finish, we have a song now that we're working on called Born to Fly. Meaning, no matter what situation you're born in, you can overcome them adversities with Christ, and you can fly. And she's singing the hook with me. You know, my children are doing the album with me. But anyway, she's singing the hook with me called Born to Fly. And you're telling me, if I make a song, I make a rap song, some poetry with a nice rhythm behind it, nice beat behind it. And it's about children overcoming adversity, children born in meth houses, crack houses, born without parents. Sort of like this one. I had my parents, but they weren't there. You know, I lived with my grandma, who happened to have a dope house at the time. But anyway, who were born in the worst of circumstances, and they're told, with Christ you can fly. You're saying you're not a child of God, but David is, huh? Wow. So you would tell this young man who's rapping, say he might be rapping about drugs. Let's pick somebody out today who might be rapping about drugs, something bad, evil. He's working against the Father. I know this. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be double-minded. You can't be on two sides. I can't say, yeah, I love you, Lord, and then go out and sing and rap something else. That's just like I can't say I love you, Lord, then go preach something else. You know, I can't do that. That's phony, fake, hypocrite. You know, you have to live, you know, if you're on God's side, you're on God's side. But he says in all things. So you're saying all art, poetry. Come on now. You're saying you can't be a poet and be a child of God? You're calling Maya D'Angelo evil? Right. Langston Hughes, oh, those are my favorites because I was a poet. My poetry was even chosen when I was little. Yeah, here, let me show. Come here. Come here, little lady. Somebody want to pause and show you her little church outfit. She loves getting dressed. She said, look, you going to say hey? Yay. You going to say hey, Isha? Now, this is my daughter. And when we get done with the song, say hey, come on.
Hi.
Can they see you?
Oh, I'm going this.
But, and I will post it on here.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, and, but like I said, so, and this is what I'm showing my children, you know, Alice A. Bailey, let's get deep with it. She said who was I call her a satanic prophetess to the UN, Lucis Trust. She started Lucifer's Publishing. It's now called Lucis Trust. It's in the UN building. One of the 10 rules, she said, to turn our society into a evil society, she said you have to corrupt all art forms. Corrupt all art forms and make them evil. So poetry, rap, and see, that's the problem, is there's not a lot of guys swallowed the pill and said, you know what, for me to be a rapper, I gotta speak about this, 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 when that's not true. You know, if you have a gift with poetry, tongue, you know, not the tongue like the Pentecostals, but if you have a gift with poetry, you know, for me to, and you know how to put it to a beat and sound good, and people actually listen, then you can actually speak on life-changing issues and things of that nature and totally be positive and actually help and uplift. You're the person that would say, you're not a child of God, but yet and still, are you a Christian when you do things unbiblically? You know, when you publicly rebuke your brother instead of going to him privately. First, he says first, you know what I'm saying? You got to take steps. But we all have to live by that. I've fallen short when I've done things, you know, many times. And that's why I said I respect you, brother, because a lot of people would just keep it to themselves and talk about me behind their back. At least you were out front and you're saying, so you'll always have a brother in me, because I respect that, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, you know. And I was already prepared for it. I'm born and raised in Venice. Whoa! That's what she does when I'm sitting here working at my desk at the table all day. So anyway, so like I was getting at. So that's why I said we have an infatuation with the Bible. We have to be careful when we use that word. The word says, judge not, lest you be judged first. See, when you say you're not a child of God, see, I respect more if you say somebody who has bad rap songs or who is speaking evil isn't on God's side. But to say, if you're a rapper, you're a child, you left it too broad. Because when I was in that dark place, brother, my oldest daughter, Ariel, who goes to church on her own in another state, who's only just turned 14, who I love dearly, and I've been praying about it. Now she goes to church on her own. You know, she lives with her mother in another state, and when she saw me in that dark place, I'll never forget her and my other daughter, Aisha. There was this song by Lecrae. This song by Lecrae called I'll Find You, and they wanted me to listen to it. Now here I'm listening to all the other stuff. I'm listening to all the evil stuff, but it was that song that God used to reach me, to where I listen to it every day. It's a reminder. Not only is it a reminder how much my daughters love me, but it's also a reminder of God's grace and mercy. And he was dealing with kids with leukemia in that song, and Lecrae often talked, and so it made me actually go into the life of Lecrae. He just got out of a main depression, and I respect him for even opening up about it from Christians like you. See, it's not just Adventist Christians who felt that if you're rap, you're evil. You're evil. That's what you basically said. If you rap, you're evil. When you say you're not a child of God, you're saying I'm the opposite. So you're basically saying I'm evil. So, and that's what he said. It drove him into a depression. He was sad because he just had a heart for people. He was molested. He opens up how he was molested by his uncle. as a child, things of that nature in his songs, and his songs have so much strength and energy. Of course, not all of them are good, not all of them I agree with, but most of them, I can say most of them are good, is good music. You know, he has a song called Go Hard. Now from the out without you, go hard, and the beat, oh no, the beat makes me want to move. Well, that's what I work out to, because if it's hard doing the extra set of push-ups to a spiritual, one of my mama's Negro spirituals. You know, it's hard to get a little extra motivation to hit, but just because that beat is like that, in the whole song, he's talking about how his wife is a missionary with him around the world. That's what the whole song is about. Listen to it, Google it on here. And I have actually, I do have a rap song on my YouTube. I didn't think, the Lord brought it to my remembrance while I was in the shower getting dressed. He said, well, why don't you tell them about It's Time? One of the last songs you did before you stopped rapping 10 years ago. It's called It's Time. It's in my uploaded videos. Come here, big guy. Uh-oh. Y'all saw my daughter. Come here, Gabriel. Gabriel, come here. Uh-oh, he know what I'm gonna do. He's like, you ain't putting me in front of. But anyway, it's called It's Time. And it's in my uploaded videos, and we're talking about how the neighborhoods are pushing crack to children. But I guess that's evil. That's evil. Beloved, we have to watch how we say it and how we say it. Because first off, you'll offend. You can easily offend. You're not using tact. And it's that mentality, the reason why the North American division is the worst division in the whole conference. Why we as Americans with this high and mighty self-pity attitude, why we can't bring people into the church because of that quick to, who are you to say who's a child of God and who's not? I thought God said I'm the only one that can read the reins in the mind, and he said I'm the only one. He said judge not. See, when you judge, when you say who's lost and who's saved, you're judgment. You're committing judgment. Now, pointing out some faults and flaws, that's different. Especially if you do it the right way, go to a brother privately, reach out, things of that nature. That's different than saying you're a child of Satan and you're not. Because back when I was a child of Satan, you said I was a child of God. Trust me, I was a child of Satan. I was a hypocrite, living a lie, living a horrible lie. But anyway, my children, he's gonna get the lights. No. But yeah, that's that scream right there. But anyway, there's also a song I did that I wrote to my children, and I'm actually singing. I actually sung the whole song. It's called Eyes to Zion, and it's in my uploaded videos. It's just with 500 videos, you probably have to scroll all the way to my earlier uploads. You have to scroll all the way to my earlier uploads, and guess what? It's a song all about my children. I guess that's evil too. See, beloved, that's why, not only is it, me doing my music again is good to keep my mind occupied and keep me stayed, but this is the point I'm making to, I see why brothers and sisters are more comfortable with me in the neighborhoods I go in, the customers' houses I sit and talk to, and we end up just talking about the Lord, forgetting about electronics and things of that nature. They're more comfortable with me opening up because I don't judge them. Who am I to tell another man he's a child of this? I've learned my lesson in that, brother. Like I say, my brother Andre Evans, my brother Lecrae, I've learned the lesson of saying who is a child of Satan and who isn't. Because some of those people who you want to look at and say, oh, he's lost because he makes a rap song. But I looked at Lecrae, was I doing missionary work like Lecrae? And I'm not just going to go on these. Oh, yeah, and I had to say, stop it. Get that from her. I'm not going to go into these, but it's crazy. Out of 500 videos, yesterday was one of my only videos where I even tell an inch of the stuff I do in the neighborhood, and that was only in response to you. But it's funny how people will accuse you of only living your life pleasing yourself. That was a harsh little paragraph. You only please yourself. You're only living to yourself. Da, 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 da. And I didn't even bring up how many families to feed. All of that stuff. Like I say, I ain't tell no number. I didn't go to specifics. But beloved, if it was vainglory, that wouldn't have been the first video out of 500. When people accuse you of you live your life this way, you live your life that way, and you answer them, then they want to say, well, you're not supposed to talk about your works. And I'm like, but didn't you just say I was this? I can't answer you. So you telling me out of 500 videos, I mentioned 1 in an inch of the stuff I do in the neighborhood and community as a Christian? Don't we do that in praise and when it's in prayer and prayer? You know, and it's vainglory is when you sit there and you give something to the homeless and the guy talks about it all week. That's the only thing they mention. Hey man, I remember I gave this and this and this, and he's like, okay. But anyway, back to what I was saying. We have to be careful. That's the mentality we have to watch out for, because it was certain songs where God was actually able to reach me. There's a beautiful song for anyone who wants to see what I'm saying. And once Lecrae and Andy Mineo did it, it's called Background. And it's about letting God take the lead and you living in the background. That was one of the songs that really touched me, because I had to look at myself like, am I willing to let God take the lead? You know, am I willing to let God take the lead? We have to be careful in the way we say things and how we say it. You know, all art is not evil. I can't talk about God in a rap and spoken word with a beat behind it. I can't talk about the benefits. I'm now vegan, which is hard, y'all, hard. My family went to IHOP. I wasn't able to eat nothing. I just didn't want to sit there and pay $9 for French toast, you know. But, you know, but I can't talk about that. I can't laugh, you know, I can't talk about that in a song, but then I'm evil. We have to be careful how we say and what we say and how we say it. Because, oh, I can talk to y'all and use my verbal with y'all, but little kids who I know, or in the slums, who will listen to me more if I put it in poetry and put a beat behind it, I can't do that to them too. I should just only use my talents for you. Only just speak to you. I shouldn't try to go into Babylon and speak to them out. And I'm not saying conform to Babylon. No. I'm saying go in there with God's truth and glorify Him with my talent, my love, and my abilities, and do what I feel that He told me to do. Back to the parable of the talents. So the guy who buried his talent, he had a fear that his talent would bring God's judgment. Y'all gotta look at the talent. I'm telling you, I was blown away because I had never looked at it like that, and that's what changed my whole idea. And what happened? God got upset with him and said, I'm gonna take it from you and give it to the one who's doing. Like Lecrae, who took his talent and gift of poetry and song, and at least he's out there affecting people, trying to change lives, things of that nature. He might fall short. He spoke about it, falling short and giving in to certain temptations and things of that nature. But he's in a good space now. That's between him and God. All I know is when I was in a dark, evil place, God used one of his songs to reach me. Like on a high level to where I'm here now, sober, clean, with my family, love. My daughters brought the song to me one day. I'm sitting there high drunk. Beloved, when I say I'm a monster, I'm not playing. I didn't hide from my family. I wasn't sugarcoating and none of that. When I'm cold, I'm cold. I didn't hide it from them, things of that nature. And when they came to me and I saw the love in their eyes, I instantly played it. I said, let me see what they talking about. Let me see what they want me to hear. And it brought me to tears. Because the song is I'll Find You. And the song says, keep fighting. Hold on. Keep fighting. Hold on. There's so many youth in trouble, youth who are killing, suicide, depression, that need to hear, hold on. Keep fighting. Hold on. And if I put a beat behind it and say that's is that evil? No. Do I have to justify it to you? No, that's between me and my Savior. Let the chips fall where it may, because I'd rather die trying to use my talent to glorify Him than to bury it in the dirt to please you, in your opinion. Look at the parable all over again. The servant hid it in the dirt because he thought that if he used it, it would bring God's judgment on him in a bad way, so he hid it and felt he was doing the right thing, and God punished him for it. Like I said, worry about your walk with God and what you do, and make sure you're aligned with His mission for your life. And I'm gonna do the same with me. I put my talent to the side for 8 to 10 years because I thought I was doing the right thing, and it used to eat me up. I got on my phone like 12 songs. A song would come in my head and I would sing it into my song so I wouldn't forget it, into my phone so I wouldn't forget it, and I would never record it. I have a song called Tears in Heaven. It's not like Eric Clapton's, but it's oh, 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 tears in heaven, yeah. But of course I have somebody else singing it. I'm not singing it, but I'm gonna have somebody else singing it. But it's one of my favorite songs that, you know, it just talks about. I wrote it for these three boys who were born without no families, and they used to hustle around the city, and they would come back and bring their money together, all the hustling that they would do. I believe I talked about them before on here, and some of the older kids actually stabbed one in his leg and took their little. They only hustled up a couple dollars that day, but stabbed one in the leg and took his little money. And that's where the song comes from, and that's who the song is about, you know. And he's sitting there with this big old gash in his leg, telling the reporter, and I'm even saying, well, are they gonna fix it? What's going on? But it was in another country. This was in a city in Africa, and you know, I was up late night, high, and I saw it on like one of the pay-per-view, like not pay-per-view, but info commercials, old one, and it touched me hard, broke me hard, and that's where that song and that hook came from. But yeah, I thought I'd take this time out. It's time for me to go. But men, you know, we have to be careful, y'all. That's why we can't reach. That's why the North Americans, period. You know, the only reason why we even hit 1 million was because of the Hispanic community. Yes, the Hispanic community church is growing by leaps and bounds. It's not because of the black church and the white church here in America. Oh yeah, Joshua said it is not because of us here. We're too busy worried about women's ordination and what this person is doing and what that person is doing. Are you in the neighborhood? Are you combing the city streets? Are you using your talents and abilities to reach people and glorify God? If you're not, be careful how you criticize those who are trying, because they may be closer to the mark than you are. Y'all have a good one.